individuals, but we as a nation. That's why we all went into captivity, the righteous and the wicked. We went into captivity, slavery, and bondage for what the wicked done. So now, let's go to Ecclesiasticus and the Apocrypha, because we looking into the Apocrypha. 45 and 5. Ecclesiasticus 45 and 5. And we're looking at how the law is all in the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus 45 and 5. Something pertaining to being righteous in the eyes of the Most High, keeping His laws, statutes, commandments, and not being a sinner. Ecclesiasticus 45 and 5. He made him to hear His voice and brought him into the dark cloud. The Most High made Moses hear His voice and brought him into the dark cloud and gave him commandments before His face, even the law of life and knowledge. Hear that? So the law is life. That life is everlasting life with knowledge, that he might teach Jacob his covenants and Israel his judgments. That's what he said. Now let's look at Exodus, the 20th chapter, which we were in initially when I gave you the 10 Commandments. Let's look at verse 21, Exodus 20 and 21. Exodus 20 and 21. Exodus 20, 21. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near to the thick darkness where the Most High was. So the Most High, you see, is thick darkness. You know, people really can't don't really understand the Most High. You know, Moses went up to deal with the Most High. Now, nobody ever seen the Most High now. I'll tell you that in John 1 and 18. He always have his angels that represent him, his representatives, you know what I mean? His ambassadors, the angels that represent him. That's another mystery. Go to John 1 and 18. But the Bible answers itself to all questions. No man has seen the Most High at any time. You hear that? The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, He hath declared Him. Hear that? So, Mashiach Yahushua have declared Him. He's the only begotten Son. He has declared Him. When you look at Psalm 74:11. So you have to clear up a lot of things that's mysteries that a lot of people don't really know. Psalms 117 and 11. No, 74:11, I'm sorry. Psalm 74 and 11. Salakia. Why withdraw thou thy hand, even thy right hand, pluck it out of thy bosom? For the Most High is my King and of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. Thou didst divide the sea by thy strength. Thou breakest the heads of the dragons in the waters. Thou breakest the heads of Leviathan in pieces, and gave him to be meat to the people inhabiting the wilderness. Wow, is this what we're going to see in the wilderness? Leviathan, you're going to eat him up. Thou didst cleave the fountain and the flood. Thou driest up mighty rivers. The day is thine, the night also is thine. Thou hast prepared the light and the sun. Thou hast set all the borders of the earth. Thou hast made summer and winter. See, as the Most High look at summer and winter. First Timothy 6 and 16. 1 Timothy 6 and 16. So like I say, the Most High, his actions, he's worthy to be praised for everything. But he had, even in the wilderness, we were dealing with the angel of the Most High, which was the Mashiach Yahushua. And it told us in 1 Corinthians 10 and 4. That rock that followed us was a Mashiach. Look at the Most High. 1 Timothy 6 and 16. Who only have immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto. Reach again. Who only have immortality, dwelling in the light which no man can approach unto. Whom no man have seen, nor can see, to whom be honor and power everlasting. Hallelujah. The Most High. You hear what he say? The light which no man can approach unto, whom no man have seen, nor can see, to whom be honor and power everlasting. So, look at 1 Kings 8 and 12. Excuse me. 1 Kings 8 and 12. 1 Kings, the 8th chapter, 12th verse. Then spake Solomon, the Most High said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. Hear that? So a lot of you that don't know that the Most High dwell in thick darkness better understand. Hear what it said? Then spake Solomon, the Most High said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. Okay? Zephaniah 1 and 14. Zephaniah 1 and 14. So the Most High dwell in thick darkness. Darkness. That's why Moses went up to the mount. He went to the cloud. He was in thick darkness. Zephaniah, first chapter in the 14th verse. The great day of the Most High is near. It is near and hasten greatly. Even the voice of the day of the Most High, the mighty power, shall cry. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly when the day of the Most High come. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of darkness and gloominess, right? A day of darkness and gloominess. Listen. A day of clouds and thick darkness. A day of clouds and thick darkness, because the Most High dwell in thick darkness. Okay? A day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities. Think they have security? Most I say a day of the trumpet and alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Most High. It's very important that you see this. He said, I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, like men that can't see. Why? Because they have sinned against the Most High. They have broken the Most High's laws. For all you talking about, we not under the law, but we in the mercy and grace, and we Gentiles being grafted in and so forth. So we sin against the Most High because they have sinned against the Most High, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Man. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Most High's wrath. No matter how much money you have, it's not going to be able to deliver you. You can't buy your way out of this. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. Woo. That's why it behooves you to start following his laws before it's too late. 1 John, the first chapter, and 1 John 1 and 5. 1 John 1 and 5. This then is the message which we have heard of him and declare unto you, that the Most High is light, and in him is no darkness at all. He dwell in thick darkness, but he is the light. Remember that bright shining light that no man could approach to? He dwelling in darkness, thick darkness it says, but he is that light, and there's no ignorance in him. This darkness talking about ignorance. They're not talking about turn off the light and you're in darkness. He dwelleth in thick darkness, but he's that light that's dwelling in thick darkness. There's no unrighteousness in him. He's all righteous. This is what this is talking about. This then is a message which we have heard of him and declare unto you, that the Most High is light, and in him is no darkness at all. No darkness at all. So let's look at Deuteronomy 5:22. Deuteronomy 5 and 22. Because darkness means ignorance, stupid, dumb, not knowing, too. Besides just turn off the light and you're in darkness. Deuteronomy 5 and 22. These words the Most High spake unto all your assembly in the mount, out of the midst of the fire, of the cloud, and of the thick darkness. See that thick darkness that he dwell in, with a great voice, and he added no more. And he wrote them in 2 tables of stone, the 10 Commandments, and delivered them unto me. See, that it was in thick darkness. Can you imagine that? You going up there, and Moses went up there, he was in this darkness, and had to deal with the word of the Most High coming to him. While we have it now. Deuteronomy 6 and 1 and 2. Deuteronomy 6:1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments, which the Most High your power commanded to teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it. So these are the commandments and the statutes and judgments that the Most High commanded to teach us, the Israelites, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear the Most High thy power, to keep all his statutes and his commandments, which I command thee, thou and thy son, and thy son's son, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged. Proverbs 3 and 1. We do this, we're going to be blessed. And our days going to be prolonged, it said. Proverbs 3 and 1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. For what? For length of days. Live a long time. And long life. And peace shall they add to thee. See? beautiful. If we follow what he say do, it's going to work. Job 34 and 22. Job 34 and 22. Job 34 and 22. The Most High redeemed the soul of his servants, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate. See, the Most High redeemed the soul of his servants, and none of them that trust in him. That means you keep his laws. You can't trust in him and not do what he say do. Keep his rules and regulations. So you trust in him, say, and none of them that trust in him shall be desolate. No one that trusts in him shall be desolate. This saying. So let's go back to the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus 46. Ecclesiasticus, the 46th chapter. And verse 13. Samuel, the prophet of the Most High, beloved of his power, established a kingdom and anointed princes over his people. Prophet Samuel. By the law of the Most High, he judged the congregation. Hear that? Right here in the Apocrypha. By the law of the Most High, he judged the congregation, and the Most High had respect unto Jacob. Just like we just read in Exodus 2:25. It's not going to deviate. It's not deviating. He had respect unto Jacob, which is Israel. Now his name was changed to Israel, our forefather. Verse 15. By his faithfulness, he was found a true prophet. And by his word, he was known to be faithful in vision. He called upon the almighty power when his enemies pressed upon him on every side, when he offered the suckling lamb, and the Most High thundered from heaven, and with a great noise made his voice to be heard, and he destroyed the rulers of the Tyrians and all the princes of the Philistines. See that? Got the victory. Through the Most High, who destroyed the rulers of the Tyrians and all the princes of the Philistines. That's why you got to look at the power that we have. When we're in order, he fight for us. When we out of order, he bring on those curses upon us. Look at 1 Samuel 3. 1 Samuel 3 and 18. 1 Samuel 3 and 18. That's why it behooves me. It's like a trip how people can think that man wrote this, coinciding all these words to coincide with. I can keep going back to the Bible to show you that's the same thing in the Bible. 1 Samuel 3 and 18. And Samuel told him every whit and hid nothing from him. And he said, it is the Most High, let him do what seemeth good with him good. And Samuel grew, and the Most High was with him. Same Samuel we're reading about in the Apocrypha. And did let none of his words fall to the ground. He followed just what the Most High told him to do. He let none of his words fall to the ground. And all Israel, from Dan even to Beersheba, knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of the Most High. And the Most High appeared again in Shiloh. For the Most High revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh by the word of the Most High. Most High revealed, he appeared again in Shiloh, for the Most High revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh by the word of the Most High. The word of the Most High. That's how he revealed himself to Samuel, by the word of the Most High. That's like a mystery. That's like that. Some people hear that and say, "Oh yeah, okay, well, he revealed him by what he spoke to him." Right? But let's see. Let's look at it a little deeper than that. Look at St. John, the first chapter, and let's look at start at verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Most High, and the Word was Hamashiach Yahushai. The same was in the beginning with the Most High. You hear that? The same was in the beginning with the Most High. The Word. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. So, you see there it says, he's the Word of the Most High. Also, I challenge you to tell me if he come back as a man. No, he come back as an angel, spirit. He said, I will not meet you as a man in Isaiah 47:3. So, when you look at Revelation 19, this is Mashiach Yahushua. In 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. He come back to judge and make war. I'll tell you that in verse 11. And he was clothed with a vesture, his clothing dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of the Most High. Can't be no clearer than that. His name is called the Word of the Most High. So, there it is right there. But that might be it's too simple. The simplicity of a Mashiach Yahushua is kind of hard for some people to really grasp, because you want to have that deep spirit. But he said he spoke to Samuel, by the word of the Most High. Which is the angel of the Most High, the Spirit of the Most High, in the Old Testament, which is the Mashiach Yahushua. At that time. Because he speak to different prophets by the angels. But he's known as the Word of the Most High, as we just seen. So, we're going to look at Baruch. Go to the book of Baruch. Baruch, the second chapter. Went right there over the button. It's right there. Baruch, the second chapter, and verse 1. Baruch 2 and 1. It said, therefore the Most High have made good his word, which he pronounced against us, and against our judges that judge Israel, and against our kings, and against our princes, and against the men of Israel and Judah. He said he's going to bring curses upon us if we didn't follow his laws, statutes, commandments. To bring upon us great plagues. Hear that? To bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven. Hear that? To bring upon us great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses. See? Things that was written in the law of Moses, these great plagues that was promised by the Most High to happen to us if we didn't keep his commandments. Jump up to verse 6. To the Most High our power appertaineth righteousness. And we know what that righteousness is. We read that in Deuteronomy 6 and 25. Righteousness is keeping of the commandments of the Most High, His law, statutes, commandments. To the Most High our power appertaineth righteousness. But unto us and to our fathers open shame, as appeareth this day. To us and our fathers, our forefathers, open shame, as appeareth this day. Because the Most High said He's going to shame us. He's going to bring upon us. Why? Because we didn't want to follow His law, statutes, commandments. As it is this day. To the Most High our power appertaineth righteousness. But unto us and to our fathers open shame, as appeareth this day. Shameful, man. Things that you see we doing and how we act like a bunch of beasts, man. For all these plagues are come upon us, which the Most High have pronounced against us. So you see plagues happening with Israelites. The Most High promised plagues upon us. Yet have we not prayed before the Most High, that we might turn everyone from the imagination of his wicked heart. We prayed to the Most High that we could turn away from the imaginations of our wicked heart, wicked mind is saying. Wherefore the Most High watched over us for evil. Hear that? He watched over us for evil. And the Most High have brought it upon us. For the Most High is righteous in all His works. Hear that? The Most High is righteous in all His works, which He hath commanded us. He said He's going to do it, and He done it. See, people think, oh, you done made up your own Most High, or your own power, or as you call your own God, but not the God of this, not the power of this Bible. Better understand and recognize. Look at Numbers 23 and 19. Numbers 23 and 19. The Most High is a man. So all y'all got them Bibles out there, the Most High, a man and a woman. Put that in the garbage, man. The Most High is not a man, He's a man, that He should lie. Neither the Son of Man, that He should repent. Have He said something? And shall He not do it? He told us. If you keep my commandments, I'm going to bless you to be above all nations of the world. But if you break my commandments, you don't want to keep my laws, I'm going to bring all these curses on you. That's Deuteronomy 28, 1 and 2. The blessings are from 3 to 14. You can count that. Middle or none. But from 15, He said, you break my commandments, you break my laws, I'm going to bring all these curses upon you. That's what we reading about in the Apocrypha. Most High is not a man that He should lie, neither the Son of Man that He should repent. And from Deuteronomy 28, 15th chapter to the 15th verse to the 68th verse are the curses that befell us as a nation. Has He said, and shall He not do it? Have He said it? Shall He not do it? Or has He spoken, and shall He not make it good? Oh yeah. That's why you hear Him saying. You hear what He's saying? Baruch 2 and 9. Wherefore the Most High watched over us for evil, and the Most High have brought it upon us. For the Most High is righteous in all His works which He hath commanded us. Yet we have not hearkened unto His voice, to walk in the commandments of the Most High that He hath set before us. See, we the ones messed up. He told us, if you follow my laws, statutes, commandments, I'm going to bless you. You'll be above all nations of the earth. Which we're coming back to His laws, statutes, commandments, getting prepared for the kingdom to come, but we're going to be above all nations of the earth. If you keep the commandments of the Most High and have a faith in the Mashiach Yahushua, by some of Mashiach Yahushua. Baruch 3. Go to Baruch, the 3rd chapter. Very good chapter. Let's start at verse 1. It says, O Most High, Almighty, power of Israel, The soul in anguish, the troubled spirit, quiet unto thee. See, the soul that's in anguish, the troubled spirit, quiet unto the Most High. So anytime the Most High have pity on us, when we quiet to the Most High. Hear, O Most High, and have mercy. Mercy is not getting something you do deserve. But thou, and he only have mercy and grace on the children of Israel. Hear, O Most High, and have mercy. But thou art merciful, and have pity upon us, because we have sinned before thee. Hear that? Have pity upon us. He cried to the Most High to have pity on us. It's like I said, it's right there. He cried to the Most High, asked the Most High to have pity on us. It's the only time the Most High had pity on us, when we cried to him. With a broken and contrite spirit of humility. But thou endure forever, and we perish utterly. Most High endure forever. We dying, but we ate of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And we want to follow evil instead of righteousness. This is what it says. O Most High Almighty, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites. That's something key here, because when you read Psalms 115 and 17, go there, Psalms 115 and 17. Hear the prayer of the dead Israelites. Psalms 115 and 17. The dead praise not the Most High. I'll read you again. The dead praise not the Most High, neither any that go down into silence. See, that's why people gotta know. Talk about the, you know, you can't even pray for the dead. Look, go to Matthew, the 22nd chapter. Matthew, the 22nd chapter. And verse 32. Matthew 22:32. I am the power of Abraham and the power of Isaac. And the Mashiach telling you who the Most High is. This is the name forever. I am the power of Abraham and the power of Isaac and the power of Jacob. Okay? Who was the forefather of the 12 tribes of Israel. That's the Most High's name forever, the memorial to all generations. You read that in Exodus 3:15. The Most High is not the power of the dead. See? But of the living. See? So, the dead don't praise the Most High. So this dead Israelites that we're reading about in the Apocrypha is talking about a dead state of mind. Not knowing. Going back to Baruch 3 and 4. O Most High Power, Almighty, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites and of their children, which have sinned before thee. See, you a sinner, you're like a dead person. Sinning, that's how the Most High look at you, a dead Israelite. Choose ye life or death. Sinners gonna have death. This is what it says. Hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites, a dead state of mind. Why? Because you sinners. And of their children, which have sinned before thee, broken the Most High's law. Sin is a transgression of the law, and not hearken unto the voice of thee, their power. We haven't hearkened unto the voice of the Most High, their power. For the which cause these plagues cleave unto us. See that? These curses. These plagues are these curses from Deuteronomy 16 to 68. plagues cleaving unto us. So remember not the iniquities of our forefathers, but think upon thy power and thy name now at this time, because his name is in our name. And he said he didn't do it, he didn't save us for us. What we done that's righteous, he said it for his name's sake. That's what he's praying, crying out to him. But thou art the Most High, our power, and thee, O Most High, will we praise. We're going to praise the Most High. Hallelujah. And for this cause, thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, in our minds, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. Hear that? Praise the Most High in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquity, all the wickedness, all the sins of our forefathers that sinned before thee. See? He said, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. And that's real for us right now. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us in the four corners of the earth, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, for a reproach, a disgrace, and a curse. He told us he's going to curse us. And to be subject to payments. Always got to put out everything you get. Payments. According to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Most High, our power. See? Sad, boy. This is real. Says, let me see, go to 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. 2 Chronicles 7:14. So you hear it, we're crying out to the Most High that he would hear our prayer in our captivity. 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. If my people, who's the Most High's people? My people, who's that? Exodus 3 and 10. If my people, because you know, they use a lot of these scriptures in the church for anyone, but he said, my people, who's his people? Exodus 3 and 10. Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, or who? The children of Israel out of Egypt. So the Most High's people are the children of Israel. So now you go back to 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. If my people who are the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, which are called by my name, because we are Yah, Shar, Allah, shall humble themselves, first and foremost. Can't be prideful. You got to humble yourself. We got to humble ourselves. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, keep the laws of the Most High, his commandments, then will I hear from the heaven and will forgive their sin, which is the transgression of the law, and will heal their land. Now mine eyes shall be open, and mine ears attent unto the prayer that is made in this place. See? So, that's why we're told to face the east toward this place. The Most High would hear us from his heavenly throne. Look at 2 Chronicles 6:38. If they return to thee with all their heart, 2 Chronicles 6:38. If they return to thee with all their heart, all our mind, and with all their soul in the land of their captivity, whither they have carried them captives, and pray toward their land. That's what I just said, pray toward the east. Face the east and pray toward our land, which thou gavest unto their fathers, and toward the city which thou hast chosen, and toward the house which I have built for thy name. Then hear thou from the heavens, even from thy dwelling place, their prayer and their supplications, crying to the Most High. Supplication, and maintain their cause, and forgive thy people which have sinned against thee. See? So, you see how it coincides with what we're seeing here in Baruch 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us. And that's true for today. We are yet in our captivity, where the Most High has scattered us among all these nations, for a reproach, a disgrace, and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers which departed from the Most High our power. Hear, Israel, Shema Yasharallah, the commandments of life. Hear that? Hear, Israel, the commandments of life. Commandments are going to lead to everlasting life. Give ear to understand wisdom. How happeneth it, Israel, that thou art in thine enemy's land? What happened that you in your enemy's land, the question is? That thou art waxing old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead. Ugh. That thou art counted with them that go down into the grave. Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom. For if thou hast walked in the way of the Most High, thou shouldst have dwelled in peace forever. Wow. For if, let me read that again, maybe a couple of times. For if thou had walked in the way of the Most High, for if we had kept the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, his rules and regulations that he gave us as the Israelites, thou shouldst have dwelled in peace forever. Why you say you can eat of the tree of life and live forever? Don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, else you're going to die. But as we came on this earth, all the Israelites that came on this earth, the majority of them was wicked, as it is this day. 2/3 of our people are wicked. Only 1/3, the Most High call them. They're going to choose. I'll read it again. For if thou had walked in the way of the Most High, thou shouldst have dwelled in peace forever. That's what we're going to get and follow the Most High, laws, statutes, commandments, so that we can dwell in peace forever. That's what the kingdom was about. He gave us the kingdom initially. And now we want to eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Isaiah 59:9. I'm just about finished here. Isaiah 59:9. Isaiah 59:9. Therefore is judgment far from us, neither does justice overtake us. We wait for light. We wait for the light. But behold, obscurity. For brightness. But we walk in darkness. We grope for the wall like the blind.